Eric and Brittany and Caspian Highland, April 15th, 2021 at Hourless Life, Mojave Road before we drive around the world.
Today we're headed out on the Mojave Road. It's a bucket list level item for me. I know it's gotten a lot calmer than it used to be and all that kind of stuff, but it's just something that I've always wanted to do. And so we finally get to start it today. We're going to take at least 2 days, maybe 3 days to do it. But we're packing up camp here at this little location that we found last night, and we are heading out on the trail. So Mojave Road, here we come. So we have stopped at Terrible's, which is a convenience store here. We're going to get some water, wash our hands, use the restroom, maybe even get some food. And then we're going to head further south to the last place where you can get fuel before we hit the Mojave Road. Our family mission statement is love, explore, study, and share. And every chance we get, we do a little studying.
The Colorado River, early each summer, following floods that resulted from melting snow in the faraway Rocky Mountains. The abundance of their crops gave them the freedom to travel.
This is the final fuel stop before you get on the Mojave Road from east to west. It's at a little Chevron station in an area called Palm Garden.
Which it never was. It was a freight, military, and mail road, intended to call it Old Government Road. You ready for this?
I'm ready for this. I'm really excited about it. It's going to air down to 18. We did it. We were finally on the Mojave Road. I couldn't be more excited. The Mojave Road, also known as Old Government Road, is 147 miles long, and we went from east to west, and our first stop was to go up to Fort Paiute. So we headed on up and checked it out. We've made it to Fort Paiute. This is our first stop. Vehicular traffic is prohibited past this point, so it's kind of an one way up and one way back to get back to the Mojave Road, but you're allowed to walk over there and check out the fort. Brittany's holding Caspian. He just woke up from a nap.
All right, it's only a quarter mile to the fort. Wow. Military escort relays were established to protect the mail riders, and Fort Paiute was one of several outposts built to house the escorts. Shortly after the fort was completed, the mail route was changed, of course it was, to a southern route, and the fort was abandoned after less than 6 months. The fort was built where the soldiers lived, baby. But we can't. It looks like we can walk inside. Was that a fireplace? I think so. And then the smoke went up through a fire engine.
What is that, Caspian?
A fire.
How do you know?
My dad told me.
Oh, of course. Off in the distance, you can see the Mojave Road where we came up.
That's really cool.
We really enjoyed our time at Fort Paiute, exploring and educating. Caspian really had a great time, and after a little bit we decided to head back down to the Mojave Road, which ran flat for quite a bit before it started making a climb towards the Paiute summit. This is an area you want to pay attention to if you're running from east to west. We just came over the Paiute summit, and we did it in 4 high. Although arguably there was a couple little spots there that 4 low might have been helpful, and now we have crested the Paiute summit and are continuing west. An important note for the Mojave Road are these cairns or cairns. You'll see them on the passenger side of the vehicle, and that's where you want to keep them when heading east to west on the Mojave Road, because it does get a little tricky out there, but these will help keep you on track. Little spot that we're going to stop and have lunch. And over here is the famous penny can. The idea is that there's a can that's hung here, and it's the toll for the Mojave Road, and you got to drop a penny in there. I don't know who actually collects the pennies, but we'll see if there are other pennies. There are other pennies there, and we're going to deposit our penny just in a moment. All right, Caspian, so this is our penny. You see that can over there? That's the penny can, and that's the toll for going on the Mojave Road.
Yay!
So we finished our lunch and we headed off back on the trail, and Brittany is taking us to a campsite that I think Rob told her about, our friend, up in Carruthers Canyon. We'll show you our campsite once we get there. This is the road to our camping spot. We've passed several camping spots that are pretty nice, but Brittany tells me the best one is at the end of the road.
Not nice enough.
Where exactly do you want me to go?
Be safe.
Eric is walking the trail to see what happens up there. I am 99.3% positive that this is the right way. Eric's been gone for a good 5 minutes, but he's coming back now. We'll have to see what he has to say about the trail up ahead. It looks like he's picking lines, so I'm guessing we're going that way. What's the story?
It's pretty dicey. It's definitely the diciest stuff we've done on Mojave Road if we decide to do it, but that's not the issue. I mean, we can do it. It's not something that I would normally want to do without another vehicle around. Definitely four-wheel low. There's possibility of tipping for sure. So we decided not to go over those rocks. We could have done it. But it was a little sketch. There was definitely a couple points we could have high centered even with our lift. And so I just opted, there were some lines I could have taken to get around those or over those. And I think I'm a good enough driver to do it, but there was nobody with us. And so we just weren't going to risk it. That's the bottom line. But we did pass a really nice spot on the way that was disturbed camping, as it's called, because it had a pre-made fire ring there. So we are taking that spot, and I'm going to show it to you here in just a second. So here's our camp spot. Caspian's up in the rooftop tent right now, supposed to be sleeping, but he's not. And you can see all the beautiful shade that we have. And it's pretty windy again, but look at this view back here of the rocks that we have. I'll walk over there in just a second. But this canopy of trees here is giving us a little bit of a break from the wind. Brittany is working on an interview that was sent to us that should be appearing fairly soon. Wanted you to see some of the views that we had right here. And it's a large campsite. Several vehicles could fit here. I don't know too many people are coming up this road though. We're a good, maybe 8 or 10 miles off the Mojave Road right now. Still in the Mojave National Preserve. It's a big wide open campsite with a lot of trees. And like I said, it has a pre-made fire ring, and that is called a disturbed campsite, which means somebody has already made that. You shouldn't really make new fire rings, but if there is one made, then it's okay to use it. This is the area called Carruthers Canyon, if you're looking at it on your map, Carruthers Canyon. So I told you about the campsite we found. Brittany is cooking up our taco dinner tonight. And there were these other overlanders that we ran across here at Mojave Road. We saw them down by the ruins, and they drove up past our campsite, and they were looking for a spot for the night, but they couldn't find one. And I told them, hey, there's plenty of room up here. So we've got a few rigs that joined us tonight. There's a Jeep over there, Land Cruiser, an FJ, and another Yoda over here. So got some neighbors for the night, but that's all part of what overlanding's all about. It's all about community and meeting people and having a good time. So glad to have some neighbors. Caspian, I heard dinner's ready. What are we having? Taco night. What?
Good morning from Carruthers Canyon, just north of Mojave Road. Loving these boulder formations off in the distance. Kind of wishing we had some time to go hiking, but I think we're going to hit the road early. We got a lot of ground to cover today.
We had some good company last night from some folks out of the Bay Area in San Francisco. It's nice to hang out with them. They shared a fire with us. We shared our campsite with them. Caspian had a great time meeting them. And this morning we are headed back down to the Mojave Road to start day 2 of our trip. And we're really excited about it. We don't know how many total days we're going to spend, but I guess it'll all depend on fuel and being able to be back in Pahrump on the 17th to meet up with Robert to head out to Death Valley. So that's the plan. Here we go. We are coming into an area of Joshua trees in a sandy dirt road. It's really cool. I wanted to get a little bit of this on video. Right at the entrance there was a couple little tippy off camber areas which were fine. You definitely don't want to speed over that.
Look at that red-tailed hawk. I don't know if I caught.
Oh, I see him.
He's beautiful. My amazing animal photography. Okay, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, there were some tippy spots right as you come across. And so if you're going at a good clip, you definitely want to slow down right as you get to that monument. Otherwise, you might find yourself tipped over on your side to the passenger side. But take your time, be safe, and this is an amazing place to visit. Amazing road.
The cholla has gotten so thick on this part of the Mojave Road. There's some really heavy stands along with some Joshua trees. It's so cool. Some of the cholla is almost as tall as the Joshua trees. We just came out of the Joshua trees to this cleared field. The amazing thing is that this field was cleared by a homesteader in 1912, and you can see that hardly any vegetation has grown back. This is the cairn for the entrance to Watson's Wash, which is supposed to be the most difficult part of the Mojave Trail. So we decided to hike it, see what it was like. What do you think, Eric?
So this is Watson's Wash. This is an optional obstacle that we are going to opt not to take. It has some very, very significant drops, and it's really sandy, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops to get to the bottom of it, and it's just not worth doing. Having decided to take the bypass instead of going down Watson's Wash, we ended up heading over to Rock Spring, which is a house constructed by Bert Smith in 1929. So God bless the National Park Service. We are up at Rock Springs. But look at what the National Park Service did here on the Mojave Road. Bathrooms. What? In the middle of nowhere. Thank you, National Park Service. You guys are amazing.
No bath today, Caspian.
While fighting in Europe during World War I, Bert Smith was exposed to poison gases used during that war. Returning to the U.S. with scarred lungs, Bert eventually moved to the Mojave Desert in the late 1920s. When Bert built his rock house and started living here in 1929, it was a desperate attempt to regain his health. Although he expected to survive only a short time, he lived here until 1954.
I don't know if the camera captures it, but the old Mojave Road goes up off into the distance, and it's really cool looking.
This is a plaque that says the Mojave Road. Not long ago, Mojave Indians used a network of pathways to cross the Mojave Desert to reach the Pacific coast. From their homes along the Colorado River in 1776, the Spanish missionary Francisco Garces became the first non-Indian to trek these trans-desert routes. In 1826, Jedediah Smith trod these trails to become the first white man to reach the California coast overland from mid-America. The routes became a military wagon road in 1859 when Fort Mojave on the Colorado River was established. This travel route remained a major link between Los Angeles and points east until a railway was completed across the desert in 1883. So we have just crossed a paved road,
The Kelso Sima.
the Kelso Sima Road, and now we are continuing west on the Mojave Road, and we are in some sandy whoop whoops. I don't know what else you call them. I think that's what Rob referred to them as. But it's slow going because you're literally going up and down and up and down. And it looks like it's miles and miles of this as we are approaching the Kelso Sand Dunes. I think that's what they're called. And Brittany was just reading in the book that they're like 500 feet high. You can see them there off in the distance. It's actually a really neat road if you take it slow, and actually that's what the book tells you to do. So we are taking it slow and just enjoying it, enjoying the views, and getting whooped on the whoop whoops. We have stopped for lunch at Morrow Springs. There's a lot of history here at Morrow Springs. This is a water source here in the middle of the Mojave, and I'm going to go explore it here in a moment with Caspian. Apparently we're at about the halfway point on the Mojave Road as of right now. We were going to camp a little bit before this, but we decided to press on because we got an early start. So not sure if this is all the water here at Morrow Springs, but there is water down there. And there are a ton of bees that are swarming all around this water source. And it looks really green coming out of the spigot. Look at it there. There's definitely water here. Probably the first water we've seen in the desert.
The weird stuff you see on Mojave Road.
So we arrived at the famous mailbox on Mojave Road, and Brittany is signing us in.
So this is the book that was in the mailbox. I put Eric and Brittany and Caspian Highland, April 15th, 2021 at Hourless Life, Mojave Road before we drive around the world. This is a really cool part of the Mojave Road where the lava beds come right up here, and there's holes and caves in the hardened lava that happened as it cooled.
After we left the lava area, we headed down a sandy road, which eventually became more and more silty to the point where choosing lines got very important.
So I have never walked in dust like this before. It's like moon dust or something for all the times I've walked on the moon. And we have this guidebook, and Eric wants to know why the moon dust isn't in the book, because it's look at his tires. All right, we made it. There's some crazy off-camber stuff up here. Look at that flex. We're not messing around here.
Not long after that sandy portion, we ended up making it to Dry Soda Lake. And this is a vast lake that you get to drive across, which is just awesome. You can see in all directions. And ultimately, this brought us to Traveler's Monument, which is one of the spots I was looking forward to the most. So this is Traveler's Monument on the Mojave Road. All of these rocks have been left here by travelers. And in here is a plaque, which It's kind of a secret. Only the people who have traveled this road get to read the plaque. I'm going to tell you what it says. It says, you really thought I was going to tell you? You got to travel the Mojave Road and get up here to Traveler's Monument. It's pretty cool though.
Do they leave them here so other people can enjoy them?
Yep, everybody leaves the rock. Are you going to climb up to where Daddy is so you can see the plaque?
Daddy, let me see the plaque.
Okay, you got to...
Is there a plaque up there?
All right, Caspian, you made it.
Did that this on video. Wait a minute, there. And they'd stand and see it.
After Traveler's Monument, we left the Mojave National Preserve and went back onto BLM Road. The last portion of the Mojave Road is actually known for being really rough, a lot of washboard section, and we discovered today that we're having issues with our roof rack again, separating, and so we're gonna skip that washboard section and head off of the Mojave Road. So we took Razor Road and we will be back on I-15 in about 5 miles. Eric, what are your impressions of Mojave Road?
So the Mojave Road was everything I hoped it would be and more. It was really amazing. Completely enjoyed it. Like I said, it was a bucket list thing for me. So to have done it feels a little surreal in that I'm glad we did it, but I'm kind of sad that it's over. I would totally do it again, but we're going to be driving around the world, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. And we got to read the plaque on Traveler's Monument, which was really cool. And if you ever get a chance to come out here and do it, I'd highly recommend it. I would recommend that you come out with another person or at least another vehicle. If at all possible, there are definitely stretches here where you could get stuck. But yeah, come on out and enjoy it. Make it your own and find out for yourself what it says on the plaque, the Traveler's Monument. Thanks for watching. We'll get back at you with our next video soon.